Back to another episode of Why So Serious, a Nerd Podcast. Joining me today are my co-hosts David Cochran and Jeremy Darr. Today we are bringing you another edition of Week in Geek. Don't forget to check out some of the other episodes. We have our full spoiler reviews on the Fantastic Four and Superman, the two biggest movies from this summer. And don't forget to check us out on social media at Why So Serious Pod on Instagram, TikTok, X, and YouTube. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, could you give us a 5-star review? I feel like I haven't, we have a decent amount on Spotify, not as many on Apple, so let's help us out. And we did just hit 20K on TikTok. So thanks to the magnanimous Jeremy Darr. Yeah, that's a big number. That's a good number.
Let's go. That's huge. That's huge. I don't care.
Go.
I don't care if it's tooting our own horn. That's wild. 20K? What a guy.
Yeah. What a guy.
What a guy.
This is all of our wins.
Gay.
And we are at 900 on YouTube, so we need actually 99 more to hit 1,000 YouTube. Then we can, monetize, get some ads going. So help us out, please.
Only 99. Send it to your grandma.
Right?
Let's get it.
All right, let's get into the news. We just had a big episode on Fantastic Four and Doomsday. We talked a little bit about Spider-Man Brand New Day, but of course, they were filming recently. A lot of news came out, so let's get into more on Spider-Man. And the Punisher special wrapped filming. So how do you guys feel about that at first? We get John Bernthal coming back in Daredevil, Born Again, and now he's going to be in Brand New Day and his own special.
So stoked.
So stoked.
So stoked that I'm going to let JD start, really.
I'm so stoked about the Punisher and Spider-Man 4. No, honestly, that's just exciting. So we had confirmed street level, which is what we've been asking for this whole time. Thank God. The Hulk being thrown into the mix feels very weird, very strange, I don't know what's going to happen there. The science buddy part makes the most sense to me without the Hulk, but we'll see how that goes. I would love the Hulk to be a chance for Marvel to show the fans how powerful Spider-Man really is. He does not have to hold back against the Hulk, so I think there's something that could really be done there. But we're not talking about the Hulk. We're talking about the Punisher. I think the Punisher in this is also a little bit weird.
The Punisher special.
As exciting as that is, a special that will be special. But let's talk about the special thing is he's in Spider-Man 4. You don't want him to be watered down too much. I said it before. I think Bernthal wouldn't sign on if they watered him down too much. So I think they're going to balance it right. In a PG-13 movie, though, I'm sure they could do something. But that's very exciting to have that contrast and darkness in Peter while he's actually going through his own kind of dark, confusing times. So I don't care how he's included, but the Punisher in there is very exciting. Do you think the special is going to be more of an origin, or do you think it's going to be like present day leading into the events of Spider-Man, or is it going to be dealing with the Kingpin lockdown? Like, what's the special going to be about, you think?
I hope it's not an origin. We've already seen the origin multiple times in every movie that we've seen of Punisher and in the Netflix special, or in the Netflix series, which this is technically a rough continuation of the Netflix series. They've Red and the Punisher have already had their relationship from back then, and the Daredevil seasons. Punisher has had 2 seasons on Netflix. So I really hope it's not an origin thing again. I think it's going to be what's been happening since the Netflix series, maybe. I think there's plenty of stuff you could do it's just a special presentation, right? So you don't need to have this massive story built out. It can just be a really cool 2 hours Punisher movie. I don't know.
One.
Yeah. What was
about an hour?
Come
Werewolf
on.
by Night.
Werewolf by Midnight? Was it
Something
by
like
night?
that.
Werewolf by Night? Yeah, that was about an hour or so. So around there, something like that. Like, there's plenty of stuff you can do to just give us awesome John Bernthal Punisher content. So I'm stoked on it just because I love him. So please, I love him in this role. Like, so any more type of scenes we can get with him in the MCU is awesome. We've seen some set photos. Not crazy about the first one I saw. It's just his bulletproof vest with the Punisher skull painted on it. It looks a little too neat and proper. Like the paint is clean white and it's a perfect skull. Wasn't crazy about that, but then I saw a clip of him walking by with his trench coat on over that bulletproof vest and it looked dope as hell. So I'm back on the train. I'm really... Do we have a release date for this? I feel like I haven't heard anything until they just said all of a sudden that filming was wrapped.
Yeah, I don't know. One thing I could see this if they go back not as an origin, but there's an arc called Born, where it's just his days in Vietnam. And that comic is telling you that he became the Punisher in Vietnam because he had to just slaughter a large group of people, and he was caught by himself. And like, it almost hinted like the devil like got into his damn soul and allowed him to become the Punisher. Not like he made a deal like Ghost Rider, but in an hour special, if you don't have like a Punisher story that's relevant to the overall MCU or whatever, I feel like that would fit in an hour special. Frank in Vietnam.
So it would have
Which
to be
I don't want
Iraq
it.
because of the modern day stuff.
Okay, of course, right.
But have you've seen the Punisher season 1 and 2, right? Have you seen both seasons?
Yeah,
because we get an episode where it's a flashback, like the first half, and it's this gnarly ass mission where it sounds like exactly what you're describing, where he just goes feral and is literally tears apart an entire battalion by himself, just gnarly, crazy stuff. But even that being said, if we did end up getting a war zone type Punisher like that, showing his military background and then leading into something, I'm not going to be mad at it. Even though I'd prefer to see something else, I have full confidence that they'll make it dope as hell no matter what they do. So if we get an Iraq Frank showing different aspects of his character and how it got there, I'm fine with that.
I feel like they just...
Good call, they did that already, kind of.
I feel like they just do a quick flashback to see his, wife and daughter die.
I bet we don't even get that. I bet. Unless it's like in the credits. Right, we've seen it. We've also seen it.
Watch. It's also
maybe
just
a dream.
I don't want to see his daughter get gunned down again. Like that was super sad.
Really sad.
You don't have to actually see it. Just the events leading up to it.
And the only reason, so I know you haven't watched it, Lub. And again, it's not exactly fair for me to say they've already done this, they shouldn't do it again, because Netflix isn't 100% canon. It's not strictly everything is canon, it's just loosely. Right. But they do have that too. That's a major point of season 1 is his flashbacks of what happened to his family and his family growing up when he came back from war. There's a lot of like screen time spent on the day that his family died and a lot of that stuff throughout the entire season. So that's kind of why I would lean against that too. But again, not everybody's coming into this that's seen the Netflix show, so I'm not going to be upset if they do go ahead and do it that way.
So the cast confirmed so far. Of course, we have Tom Holland, Mark Ruffalo.
What?
We have Zendaya and Jacob Batalon. That is, of course, John Bernthal, like we talked about. And then we have Michael Mando as Scorpion coming back from the post-credit scene.
Breaking
with
Bad.
Scorpion. Or is it? Yes. Is it Scorpion? Yeah, Scorpion. Michael Keaton Scorpion talks to Michael
Vulture.
Mando Scorpion, right? Nope. Vulture. Sorry, my bad.
Confusing.
A lot of Spider-Man villains.
I'm the Scorpion. Flying.
We have Sadie Sink in a still unnamed role. We don't know exactly who she's playing. Do you guys have any ideas on Sadie Sink?
Black Cat, man. Right?
That would make sense.
She's got white hair, but I guess so. All I'll say, I'd be extremely disappointed if Sadie Sink was Black Cat in the MCU. That's all I'm going to say.
No. I was thinking of Sydney Sweeney. Sweeney. This is
then I'm on
Stranger
board.
Things.
No, then I'm on board. It is a double S name. It's an up-and-coming actress with a double S. Yes, Sydney Sweeney as Black Cat is absolutely a lock. Sadie Sink, MJ. I think she could be a Mary Jane.
Redhead.
Yeah. And it's just maybe Peter's dating her.
There already is
one.
There's an MJ.
No, but
not a Mary
her
Jane.
name's Michelle Jones or something. It's not actually Mary Jane Watson. So but that is true. It's not like it's Gwen Stacy and then
who knows?
It's a new twist on it. But
yeah.
I kind of have a feeling it's going to be a weird love interest of his while Zendaya is no longer in his life. Or at least a really close friend that they have this awkward tension where they kind of want to date, but Peter always remembers Zendaya, and Sadie Sink's like, what's up with this dude? He doesn't like me. I feel like that's exactly what's going to happen. We got like
CGI, AI, quantum computers. They could color her hair blonde. Gwen Stacy.
They also have hair dye and wigs. They could do it pretty damn easily. But
that's what I mean.
She does have a lot of freckles.
They don't even need computers. They could just paint her hair.
No, I think she's going to
And
be
it's-
some love interest or at least very close friend of Peter's that has an awkward will they won't they feel to it.
And
Super
it's also
detailed.
crazy. She's 23 years old now. I feel like Stranger Things has taken so long to finish. Everyone is a full-on
It's been
adult.
10
Like, what?
years, dude. You can't start a show with 8-year-olds and finish it 10 years later when they're in college. You'd be like, it's only been 4 years. It's a very developmental part of life.
So a report came out from The Hollywood Reporter saying Spider-Man, Punisher, and the Hulk will all fight one another before figuring out who the real bad guys are in Spider-Man Brand New Day. The rumored villain has been Mr. Negative. So how do you guys feel about... This is kind of a classic superhero trope where, you know, the good guys fight each other and then find out who the real bad guy is, right? JD?
Man, a long time ago, I'd posted something on TikTok, most wanted MCU interactions we never got. And Spider-Man and Hulk was on that list. So I'm just really excited to see it. Dude, if they fight each other, that's just going to be awesome. Like I said before, Spider-Man doesn't have to hold back. He could max him out, see what he's made of fully. And that's exciting. Now, where does the Punisher fit into that? I don't see him doing well against either of them, except, actually, let me rewind. I spoke about the Brand New Day Punisher issue. What's cool about the Punisher is he's very Batman-esque in his tactical genius and his gadgets and resourcefulness to where they can write him going up against Avengers like they did. He killed the Marvel Universe. And he did that pretty good in this Brand New Day. Like, Spider-Man was going to bug him about something, and he just immediately captured him, webbed it. Like, I don't know, he's super resourceful. So if you're going to throw Bernthal into that kind of role, where it's like an Avengers-level Punisher, like your Batman-esque, super resourceful, but non-powered guy, I think that could play really cool as well. Like, he would outsmart Spider-Man and beat him a couple times because Spider-Man didn't expect him to do anything that efficient. You know, Bernthal in that kind of the Punisher shoes would be really cool.
Yeah. Lub kind of swayed me because, I was kind of on the side of, okay, he's just going to shoot at Spider-Man and Spider-Man's going to dodge the bullets for a while and then take him down and be like, dude, what's your problem? But Lub did kind of be like, well, you know, what if we see some strategic stuff coming out of him? And absolutely, Punisher has some really cool strategic scenes in his show on Netflix and in the comics. He's not just some big dumb brute who fires, you know, guns at people. He's smart. He's a strategic kind of mastermind in a way. He is an absolute military type of just all in one. So we could really have a chance for Daniel Destin Critton, I believe his name is, who did Shang-Chi. He's doing this movie. We could have some interesting opportunities for him to see some really cool, unique, fun scenes with the Punisher, kind of tricking Spider-Man or tricking the Hulk, you know, or both. But my thought on the Hulk, I feel like he totally doesn't fit. But the only saving grace of it is what JD mentioned, and that is giving Spider-Man a chance to just unleash on somebody finally. And we finally get a gauge on Spider-Man's strength, which has been something that's been up in the air for so many of his iterations. Like, how strong is he actually? And a lot of the comic stuff and whatnot, they show him getting pretty damn unbelievably strong. So that one aspect sells me on it, and I'm kind of down for that. Because I gotta be honest, I don't really enjoy Mark Ruffalo anymore. He kind of annoys me. In almost every project I see. I even saw him in Mickey 17. He drove me nuts, which I guess I get it. That's the point of his character in that
That was his character.
But in the MCU 2, Infinity War, when it's just Mark Ruffalo, like, he's just annoyed the hell out of me. Even Endgame, when he's Professor Hulk, he's been annoying me. And I don't know, there's just something about Mark Ruffalo that is just not rub me the right way, and so it doesn't really get me stoked that he's going to be in the movie. So I hope it's a limited role.
The writing, I think, is what's going on there.
Yeah,
He's
probably
totally fine. And
I liked him in
1 and 2.
Avengers. Yeah.
It's just a terrible arc for the Hulk. It's a problem. Do you guys think we will see, though, like a savage rage Hulk in Spider-Man 4?
So why bring him
you
in?
Better. Exactly.
I don't need more Professor Hulk. I don't need another mentor. What are we bringing Hulk in for? But it's a catch-22
I feel like
for
it's
me.
going to be Professor Hulk.
I was going to say, because what do you do with the raging Hulk for an entire Spider-Man movie? So
I think Mr. Negative makes him freak out. I think maybe Mr. Negative is the reason Savage Hulk comes back at all. And just for a scene. And I think...
Yeah. Splits him up from Professor Hulk.
Yeah, and then some Science Bro stuff later on. You know, I like that part of it too. I really want to see.
Yeah.
As long as it's the normal Bruce Banner, you know, not Infinity War Bruce Banner. I think that'd be fun.
Oh, you guys are screwed now. God, so corny. Go away.
Awesome.
Apparently, Tombstone, Boomerang, Tarantula, and Ramrod will appear in the movie as well. We get we're talking about
Or
street
Ramrod.
level villains going back to the basics.
Say it.
So how do you, Dave? Huh? Ramrod?
Say it. You didn't say it. Oh, I forgot. Super Trooper fans out there, you'll know what the hell I'm rambling about. But I didn't even notice that was the name until right now when I heard Ramrod when you said it. I'm really excited about this, by the way. I was really excited about
it's true.
Scorpion. If it's true, I was the whole Scorpion thing sounds like it is true, which I've been saying. This is the movie. I don't know why, but as a kid, Spider-Man was something I always watched, and well, I know why. But when I always watched and played Spider-Man, I don't know why that Scorpion always stuck out as a villain so much to me. But I just always remember him from my childhood growing up, and I've always wanted to see a dope movie iteration from him. And we got the tease for it, and so I've been saying, like, this is the time, bring Scorpion in. So I'm stoked on that, but Tombstone is another one for some reason sticks in my head. He was in the Spider-Verse movies, the Sony animated Spider-Man movies. He's one of Kingpin's henchmen during that movie. So that's interesting. Tarantula could have some interesting aspects. He's got some stuff in the comics where I'm wondering if they're going to dive into kind of his storyline and that stuff, kind of a savage type of spider character. I don't know anything about Boomerang and Ramrod. For a while when I saw that, I was like, oh, Captain Boomerang. Nope, that's DC. I don't know who the hell Boomerang is, so... Those two I don't care for, but I think it's exciting just because it reinforces that Spider-Man street level thing we're going to get.
Yeah, aesthetically, look, if you picture Green Goblin and Dr. Octopus, then you picture like a Scorpion, nice, modern, good quality looking Scorpion. He fits right into the rogues of Spider-Man, so he deserves that place on the big screen, right? So that's exciting. I think he's, just a henchman. I really think it's Mr. Negative kind of controlling things. That sounds like we're going to get a lot of cool little battles with Spider-Man and a lot of different characters.
It reminds me of the Spider-Man 2 game. That's Mr.
Right.
Negative, right? Yeah.
Spider-Man 1.
Is it 1?
Yeah, Spider-Man 2 was Venom and all that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Spider-Man 1. Yeah, so Mr. Negative is a good villain in that game where he really messes with Peter, but he uses kind of Aunt May and stuff against him. So it is kind of really cool to see a Spider-Man that really has nothing to lose, where no one knows him. He has no family members left. He's kind of by himself, where if he does go full rage against Hulk, I mean, who's going to stop him, right?
Yeah, I think he's in a mental state that just leaves a ground to write darker storytelling for a Spider-Man. Like when Spider-Man's without his friends and family, and that's where you find Dark Spider-Man.
Right. So we got some clips of the first stages of filming with him swinging around, the no CGI, classic swinging through the city, and also the suit. So it is kind of funny how the suit always changes a little bit from the last movie to the new one, where, they give this new suit at the end of the movie, and then the next movie it's changed a little bit by then. But it does have some like No Way Home vibes where he's kind of mixing Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. So JD, did you like the suit? Did you like the kind of practical effects they're doing?
It didn't jump out to me as like a really great suit or anything, but I don't care too much about it. I really don't, It doesn't change the movie. I love a great suit, when you see your like Civil War Black Panthers and stuff. This one doesn't seem to be his best. I couldn't tell you which one I like the most. Maybe like the end of Homecoming.
You have to see the final product though.
Yeah, I got to see the final product, see it in action. It's fine, man. Don't have strong thoughts.
Dave?
Yeah, I thought it looked pretty awesome when No Way Home ended, and he was swinging through the nighttime and the snow, and we got more of a royal blue color to it than the navy we're kind of used to, kind of more a classic look. I thought it looked awesome in No Way Home. Then we got that close-up, first one or not, but it looks amazing. So I was like, oh, this is going to be sick. And then we got the reveal, which I think was AI or CGI or something with Tom Holland in the new suit. Didn't really do anything for me. But again, I'm going to wait until we see it in the trailer because I've seen plenty of behind-the-scenes shots of suits where I'm like, that looks ridiculous. And then it looks great in movies because they add special effects to these suits. They're not making these incredible-looking suits that we see on the screen. Like, they don't look that amazing. It doesn't mean much to me. But the swinging, oh, man, did that get my... Oh, dude. I mean, they shut down over 60 streets for over a week to get practical shots of him swinging through the city. And coming off of the last 3 movies, which looked great. They looked fine. But John Watts, the director, went on record saying it doesn't look good when someone is just swinging on a rope. You think you're going to go in there, you're like, we're going to do it all practical. But it's boring. It looks dumb. Well, sir, may I just say that you look dumb. You've got a dumb face, and I think this is going to look great. So I'm glad we've got a Spider-Man director who's ready to go practical with some of this stuff. Of course, you're going to use CGI, but the fact that I think it's just the fact they're putting in that effort, man. We're seeing them shut down city streets like that to get realistic shots. Like, they're putting in the time and effort again, and I think that alone gives me so much hope for this movie. And not only that, there was a dope behind-the-scenes shot of Tom standing in his suit and the streets just filled with people, but it was just people who are watching the behind the scenes stuff. It looks like it's a part of the movie, but it's just a behind the scenes shot, and it was just like, that looks epic. I think I have nothing but high hopes for this movie, but that whole practical effects thing just gets me so excited. It's a dream come true, dude. We got street level, which I was praying for, and now we've got practical effects and Punisher. What could I ask for at this point? Nothing. I just need to see the movie now. Like, I could not ask for anything else at this point.
And as a Hulk Glazer.
Sucks to have to wait till a year or 10 months, really, to watch it. But
that's all right. I feel okay about that for some reason. I think I'm going to be ready. It's going to be glorious.
We got Peacemaker. I wonder if Supergirl comes out. Nah, that won't come out before that, right? It's wrapped filming, though.
No, I feel like it will.
Or it's still filming.
It could be like a Superman Fantastic Four thing.
Yeah. Which they probably shouldn't go ahead and do that. But, dude, even down to, last thing, Michael Mando, the guy who plays Scorpion, he's a great actor. He plays an incredible role, brief role in Breaking Bad, but in Better Call Saul, he expands that role really well. And I hope they utilize that because he is a really good actor. I'm excited.
Got Travis Mitchell in the chat. How's it going, guys? I love seeing them actually shooting Spider-Man on location like the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. And as we just discussed, we agree, man. That's beautiful. The effort. It's going to yield something amazing.
Mm-hmm. No.
Thanks for the shout out.
Right. No volume for this one. They're going out to the streets. Let's move on to the X Men. So they will start casting the new X Men soon. They're looking for younger talent instead of A-listers to keep the cost down, according to Variety. So I feel like we kind of speculated this. Obviously, we did cast the X Men almost 3 years ago, probably in our first 10 episodes. And JD famously casted Tom Cruise in the X Men. But so obviously they'll not be going that old. We will be going with a younger cast. So how do you feel about this kind of younger, less famous X-Men cast? JD?
Well, you got to do something different from all the previous iterations, and it was filled with geezers. Even the new Origin stuff, those were 30-year-old dudes. No, that was great. But got to separate yourself. I'm really excited. I still, as I say every episode when we talk about the X-Men, I really hope they do origin stories for individual. I want a Cyclops movie, a Storm movie, etc., etc. And then X-Men is your Avengers team up, man. Unlikely. Anyway, I would love that. As far as them being young, that's cool. That's cool. I really wonder, do you guys think in the post-Secret Wars universe that the next movie, like when we start getting introduced to mutants, like we're going to get thrown into a universe where they've existed, or are we going to get thrown into a universe where whoever the main character we're following, whether that's multiple X-Men or a single, like the movie will start with the mutant powers manifesting, and then you kind of like start the movie off with that, skip ahead a couple years. You know what I mean? Like they're a young crowd, but they're also going to like write it very differently. So you wonder how they're going to develop.
Established universe almost seems like the new way to go.
Yeah, but
like
post-Secret Wars is there.
Mm-hmm.
So you think we're just going to like start over at a new...
I hope
the
not,
616 is fixed, or the 616 is different, or in a different universe? 616, who knows?
Yeah, but I don't know.
Young X-Men, man.
I don't know.
Make it different. That's cool.
Yeah, I like it. I'm down for that. I think it's a great idea. I think if you're going to start something that you plan on lasting for a while, you start young with unknowns and you build something. So I think this is the right way to do it if you plan on expanding the story further into the MCU. So I'm with it. By the way, real quick, I got to shout out Travis Mitchell in the chat because this man is coming in with just we're talking about, and I know we're going to do casting later, but he said Austin Butler would be a perfect as a young Gambit, which totally agree. But not only that, before we get too removed, and I hate to interrupt the flow we got here, but he pitched in something about the Spider-Man thing that I just freaking love. So real quick, he speculated that Scorpion ends up with the black suit at the end, possibly ending up in Mexico where it was seen last, which that makes so much sense to me because Matt Gargan ends up being a Venom point in Thunderbolts. Yes, Venom is Matt Gargan.
Good call. Yeah.
So that would be such a great way to bring that, and Matt Gargan is the one who actually brings it into the country and meets up with Spider-Man as Scorpion, something along those lines. I love that. So sorry, I know that
I like it.
Last topic, but I saw that and I had to bring that up because that's a great idea.
Great point. Yeah.
No,
but yeah, X Men.
That's a great way to do it.
Young cast, good way to go.
Ryan Coogler's ideas for Black Panther 3 are gaining excitement within Marvel Studios. So the real question here is, are we recasting T'Challa? Dave?
I don't think you can. He's dead. I mean, I guess an alternate universe T'Challa, but they literally had his funeral and everything in the MCU. So the recasting thing at this point just makes me feel like it's not really recasting. It would just be a variant at this point. But yeah, I could see them. I know the highest speculation is Damson Idris, who is just in one. He's Franklin in Snowfall. Seems to be a pretty good actor, which I could see that as an alternate universe T'Challa, but 616 T'Challa is gone, so I don't see a recast happening.
Yeah, because how would you picture no, sorry, I was thinking of someone who wouldn't even be named T'Challa coming up the ranks. Great warrior, sure. He's like, yo, dude, we like you a lot. Be Black Panther. But that's not T'Challa. The other thing is...
Right.
The son, you created a new T'Challa, but he's too young. He can't be the Black Panther.
It's true.
But, so... I don't see them casting a new T'Challa for Black Panther 3. I think they stick with Shuri. And with what they did with Boseman's passing after probably already having half the Black Panther 2 written to that point, they still made a great Black Panther 2 in my opinion. I think I even like it more than the first one. I love that movie.
Whoa,
so I think now
take. I like it.
You already established a Black Panther, and now you don't have that obstacle of a death. So you could write a smoother Black Panther 3 with Shuri as your lead, and it should be better than the second one.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, that's fair.
I don't hate it.
All right, well, we're done with Marvel for the night. Let's move on to Star Wars. Huh? Anyone? So Comic-Con was last weekend, I think. And obviously it did not make waves like it has in years past. A lot of what Marvel and DC released was just comic book stuff and, Marvel's rivals and stuff like that. But George Lucas made his first appearance at Comic-Con ever. Original concept art for Indiana Jones, vintage comic issues from Marvel and DC, a mythology exhibit with Egyptian, Greek, and Roman gods, and then there's just other galleries and theaters and stuff. So kind of cool. George Lucas opened. It'd be kind of cool to go to one day. Get to go to the George Lucas Museum, but that was kind of cool. He
by Skywalker Ranch. Where is it?
I mean, probably.
Lazy son of a bitch.
Whoa! It was cool to see him there, though, but the big news that came out a couple days ago, Matt Smith has been cast as the villain in Star Wars Starfighter. He was supposed to be a young Palpatine in Episode 9. They made a lot of changes with that movie and whatever was going on in that. But
what?
So we have Ryan Gosling. What?
He was supposed to be a young Palpatine in Episode 9?
Mm-hmm.
Like for flashbacks?
Yeah.
This is the first I've ever heard of this. That would have been insane.
Do we know what era is this? That. Is this New Hope era?
This is
after
Empire,
everything, I
something
think.
like that.
This is after Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we have Ryan Gosling, Mia Goth, and Matt Smith. Mia Goth, they haven't confirmed as a villain, but I can see her playing the villain. So what do you think about this cast so far, Dave?
It's great. Ryan Gosling I like him. I'm a fan. I like him in most of the stuff he does. He's pretty big and mainstream to be the lead for a Star Wars project, which is pretty unusual, but I'm intrigued. I could totally see him playing a type of Poe Dameron pilot or some type of rebel type role like that. I think Mia Goth would be a great addition as a villain, and I think Matt Smith is a great addition. You take away his participation in Morbius, and everything I've seen him in has been really solid.
Daemon Targaryen.
He's just a great actor. Yeah, Daemon, he kills it when they give him the opportunity to kill it as Daemon Targaryen. I think it's a great addition. So I think the first 3 cast members we've got at this Star Wars movie, I think it's doing a great job at getting my interest up. So I think it's a good start.
Yeah, I have a feeling this is going to be really good for some reason now with the cast, Sean Levy directing. I don't know, I'm starting to feel like they have a cool little project up their sleeve. It could be the Rogue One. It could be the spaceship version of Rogue One.
Right.
What's a better way to put that? An aerial. Something, But man, the cast, the director, it seems like they have a good story. That's what Star Wars has come down to lately. Is it a good story or is it just fanfare? This, I'm looking forward to a lot, man. High hopes.
And he's the director of Deadpool and Wolverine, right? Or all the Deadpool movies?
No. Every
Just
Deadpool movie's had a different director, I believe.
Okay. So the plans for post-9 era have been revealed. It will be similar to the Vandoverse with multiple stories. The first story will be Daisy Ridley's New Jedi Order, so I don't know how that lines up with Starfighter, maybe on the timeline. Starfighter happens afterwards, but I'm not even trying to get into that right now.
Yeah.
It will build toward a culminating event that will bring back old characters. So we're going back to the well. We're going to do an Avengers, Secret Wars, Star Wars, so... But maybe old characters could be like Ahsoka, because don't bring back like Luke and Obi-Wan and stuff. Like, let's not do that, please. So, unless we're talking about that Mandoverse movie. If it's the Mandoverse culmination movie, then it would make sense story-wise to bring Luke into it in a minor role, not have him be like the saving grace again.
Well, they kind of wrote themselves in a corner by bringing Luke back at all. So he's there. If there's an issue big enough, he's got to be there now. I mean, that's fine. He looked great in that scene. I'm fine with that. If you're doing old characters, I'm still wanting Darth Maul back very, very badly. So they set him up as well. I think that's a possibility, maybe unlikely. But
Well, he's dead in the timeline.
Oh, Obi-Wan already killed him.
Post-episode 9. Yeah, post-episode 9.
In Rebels. So yeah, whoops. I don't care. I am also really excited for this culmination project. If they've been working on anything as hard as... That's probably the thing they're working hardest on. Since they've had multiple seasons of television developing to this movie, including the Mandalorian and Grogu film, right? There's that. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a lot of energy going towards this big culmination film.
Ahsoka season 2.
Old faces are welcome, man, as long as it's not just... As long as it looks good, if it's a CGI face of a non-existent person, and if it's written in there, good.
Dave?
Repeat the question.
What's your favorite cereal for breakfast?
Honey Bunches of Oats.
No, are you
Fruity
okay
Pebbles
with...
is the
Are
right
you
answer.
okay with the Star Wars Avengers movie bringing back old characters that are alive post-episode 9?
That are alive post-episode 9. I guess so.
Which is not many.
I don't have a lot of interest
Rey,
in it, I guess. Oh, I mean, Poe and Finn are alive.
Oh, that could be a
Bacca's
good call.
alive.
Poe, Rey, Finn. Rey should show up, right?
I wouldn't mind seeing
Yeah,
Poe, but
It depends how deep they are.
yeah, I don't know what their plan is for it, but I'll just say it doesn't really get me excited. I think I'm just kind of over that.
Now I
that
just think that's what
era.
they meant by
I don't
old
know.
faces. Like the last trilogy, like Poe,
Right.
Finn,
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that makes sense.
So with like the Starfighter movie, like Ryan Gosling's pilot runs into Poe at some point, or some, I could see something like that happening.
Head-on collision in space.
Yeah, they just crash and die. Ran right into him. Yeah, I think the only thing that would actually get me excited would be they continued Finn's Jedi path, and somehow we see him moving
That'd be cool.
forward. Because it would just feel like, okay, they didn't waste that. But other than that, it doesn't get me excited.
It's kind of crazy he's not in that Jedi New Order movie with Rey. Obviously because of John Boyega as a person doesn't want to come back to Star Wars, but like story-wise, he should be in that movie, right?
Yeah, well, I was just about to ask, do we know, like, when did Ahsoka Season 2 end? Like, that's pre-Exegol battle, right? Or is this all post-Exegol?
I mean, season 1, season 2 hasn't came out yet.
Yeah.
This is all like
Before.
15 years, 15, 20.
This is before the First
years.
Order. Yeah.
It's before the First Order, right? So
Yeah.
Rey and Finn are just too young, right? They're not even doing
For
warrior
the
shit
Mando
yet.
thing, for sure. Yeah, they would only be able to pop up in the Starfighter projects. So it wouldn't make
Okay.
sense if they popped up in the Mando stuff, I don't think. At least from the episode.
Were they saying
9 stuff.
Starfighter? Were they saying Starfighter is supposed to tie into all
That's
this?
yeah. So that's
No.
why I was a little confused. Okay, because I was thinking Starfighter, but I didn't think you guys were talking about Starfighter. So okay.
No, it says it's kind of the first story will be Daisy Ridley's new Jedi Order. So I think Starfighter is something
Okay.
by its own, standalone, doing its own thing. But this whole new this whole universe they're trying to build will start with this Daisy Ridley movie, and then it will build into
Whatever.
an Avengers
Trilogy
or whatever
Person.
they're trying to do.
Yeah. No, that doesn't get me excited at all. Just doesn't.
That's why we did Marvel first, because Star Wars is where it's at.
Sorry.
Peacemaker Season 2 comes out in
Hey.
2 weeks. And in this trailer, they are also diving into the multiverse. So what did you guys think about that? Also, real quick, James Gunn explains the DCU canon. It's everything in Creatures Commandos, Superman, Peacemaker Season 2, and also everything shown in the previously seen on in Peacemaker Season 2 is canon.
Okay, that's not a bad way to
And
do
everything they talk about happening in the old DC universe becomes canon. So if they mention an event that happened before, that is canon. So
it. All right.
it seems like they're gonna say everything but Henry Cavill and Gal Gadot showing up at the end
Right.
of Peacemaker
Right.
Season 1. But what did you Dave, what do you think about them going multiverse? Do you think that's explaining Peacemaker Season 1, or I feel like they're trying to branch these two universes with the season?
Based on the trailer, I weirdly don't think they are trying to branch. It feels like a different thing. And if it was any other project, I'd be a little annoyed. I'd be like, okay, so we're starting off this DCU thing and we're immediately multiversal right back at it where Marvel just crawled out of or is still crawling out of. But it's Peacemaker. And so I don't have a problem with that. I think I trust James Gunn. I think it's going to be used in a good way. I think it's going to be used in a contained way. I think the whole multiversal aspect is going to be contained in this season of Peacemaker. I don't think it's going to have DCU ramifications for a lot of the multiversal stuff. And I'm fine with that just because Peacemaker is just pure entertainment. I didn't, the storyline of season 1, it wasn't like it was gripping and had a massive effect on the DCEU as a whole. It was just a fun show to watch. And the trailer, I think, looked funny. I think I'm interested. It seemed like the whole point of the multiversal thing based on the trailer is Peacemaker wants to be a hero. Nobody accepts him as a hero. So he uses his dad's interdimensional closet thing that we saw in Peacemaker Season 1 to go into a different dimension and where Peacemaker is a hero. And now he's in a different dimension dealing with all these types of... But I don't think it's going to be used as any type of stepping stone for the DCU. So I'm not worried about it at all. I'm excited for the show. I think it's going to be very funny. I can't wait to see Vigilante again. Yeah, I'm not worried about it at all.
Yeah, you nailed it. I think this character... I find myself not reluctant to watch this multiversal crap, which we've been complaining about for a while, but it is just Peacemaker, and it's entertainment. He's quirky, it's weird, and I think in a way it will not necessarily be a stepping stone for the DCU, but a stepping stone for Peacemaker into the DCU, and a little something for the fans to separate the two universes. I think he will end up in a different universe by the end of this, and that'll be the DCU. Maybe his dad and him flipped. His dad's super nice, cares for him, and he abuses his elder dad. He kills this Peacemaker, and now he treats his father really good, and he gets that love that he wanted because his father was abused by his son, and then it's super happy. That's kind of beautiful. I'm gonna tear up a little bit, Loeb. My God, no, but I think it'll be a nice little step into the DCU, separating the previous shit, and it doesn't matter along the way because it's Peacemaker and quirky and James Gunn. So yeah, I'm good with it.
I feel like they're gonna make fun of the multiverse in a way. They'll probably do a couple
meta.
jabs. Yeah. So yeah, very excited. We will be covering the show. I don't know about every single episode, but definitely a couple episodes reviewing that season.
It's hard to cover
Did
a
anyone
comedy
see the Avatar?
sometimes, but... Sorry.
Right. Did anyone watch the Avatar 3 trailer? Dave?
Yeah, I did. It showed during my Fantastic Four viewing.
Right. Same.
I'm not a huge fan of Avatar. I thought the first one was one of the most overrated movies in a while. And it was fine. It was so hyped up that I think it was just insanely overrated. I liked the second one more than the first, and actually, to my surprise, even though I think James Cameron sucks, the trailer for this movie got my intrigue up. I think I'm probably going to see it in theaters based on the first trailer I saw. I liked what I saw. It looks beautiful. I mean, it really does. It looks incredible.
Right.
So, yeah.
I just watched Avatar 2 for the first time last weekend. Never got around to watching it, and I liked it better than the first one as well. The kids were surprisingly not annoying. They were all had like good characters to them. The whole water aspect, like the first act of the movie is really good. The second act, where they kind of meet the water people and learn the way of the water, as the movie's called, is a little slow. But then it kind of picks up towards the end, and I did like the ending. And it'd be kind of cool to watch it in IMAX too, like down in downtown Sac, like get like the real full IMAX experience. So we'll see how it goes. Obviously, it was excluded from our box office draft this year because it will be making a ton of money. But next year, nothing is off the board with Doomsday, Spiderman, Star Wars, Dune, Messiah. We got it all on the table, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
I think that about wraps it up for this episode of Why So Sidious. Thank you for joining us on another edition of Week in Geek, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Damn it, Bobby.